Hi, everybody. Good afternoon, and welcome to this Sunday interview of Basement Chronicles. As you can see, for the very first time, I actually have a guest right here on set with me in my studio at my home in my basement. And I'd like to introduce my friend and colleague and all of the things, Dr. Yemi Umuago. Did I get it right? Of course I did. How are you, Yemi?
I'm awesome. Thank you. It's a pleasure to be here.
I know,
I feel
right?
so honored.
Oh, my
Haven't
goodness.
seen this basement on YouTube a lot. It's
So what do you
nice
think?
to see. It's a lovely place.
Oh, thank you.
Those who don't get to come, sorry.
No.
I'm so happy to be here. It's really lovely. It's cozy.
Yeah, it is. Now I'm feeling a little hot, and we were discussing, like, just control it. Just control the heat. Control the heat. Control the cold. We can do it, right?
For sure.
So are we gonna have fun today?
Definitely.
I think we will.
I love spending time with Lisa, so we'll have fun.
Yeah, always she's a trip. Always, like, she's so much fun. I discovered Yemi so extroverted. So in that way, we're so different, and so it makes for a lovely kind of interaction all the time. But let's begin by telling us a little bit about yourself.
Okay. The first thing I like to tell people about myself is that I'm a Christian, because it's like the core of what makes me who I am in all its entirety. The love of God, the mercy of God, the peace that salvation gives, the understanding and self-awareness of myself that I have in knowing that it doesn't matter how great or how small or how perfect or how imperfect, I am loved the way I am, and I accept myself for how I am. And so it just radiates into everything I do, all the things I try to achieve in my interactions with other human beings.
Yeah.
I lean on God's grace. I lean on God's mercy. I lean on what I know that God calls me to be and expects me to be, to love others as He loves them. So everyone is in the image and likeness of God.
Right.
And so that's how I see myself, and that's how I strive to see all people, even those who may not be at their best when I'm interacting with them. I just look at it that, okay, this is probably a situation that is going on with this person. And since I don't know the background behind the actions I'm seeing, I try not to allow myself be drawn into anyone's negativity, because I know who I am in Christ. And, it's just awesome to always live from that perspective. Not always easy to do.
Nope.
I enjoy it. Now, a bit more about myself.
Right.
Yes. So I'm a Christian. I love collaborating. I mean, when it comes to self-identity, I'm very self-aware. So what that means is that I'm in touch with what I'm feeling part time. And if I like to express joy and connection with other people, if they are receptive of it. So if I find that the person is not receptive of it, I let them be.
I noticed that. I noticed you're very self-aware. That's one thing about you. But before we go into the deep stuff, oh my gosh, like melting into your heart.
For sure.
Yeah, what about like just the normal things? Okay, so your wife, your mom of 5 sons, you're a medical doctor turned financial doctor.
Yeah.
Take it away. Thank you so much.
Those superficial things, right?
Oh!
But don't mind me, not that superficial. I guess those things that are external facing. Yes, that's what those are. So, yes, I'm married. I've been married for almost 17 years now.
Gosh, wow.
I have 5 sons from the ages of 7 to 15. 5 boys, and that can be a bit of a handful. I'm a medical doctor. So, but in my decision to come to Canada, when I arrived and on our way here, I made up my mind that I didn't necessarily need to practice medicine. And in trying to balance the lifestyle I wanted, the fact that I wanted to care for my kids and make sure that I could be available to them, as much as possible, because medicine is a very taxing career. I realized that I didn't want to continue practicing medicine here in Canada. We immigrated in 2018, April of 2018 precisely, and I've lived in Edmonton since then. So in trying to find alternative of what I could do, because I'm the kind of person that I like to do meaningful work. I like to make sure, I like to be very happy with what I'm doing. I like to assess that what I'm doing has a positive effect on those who I'm doing it for. So serving and service is something that I've been very useful for most of my life. And so I eventually did enough research and found myself becoming a financial doctor.
Yeah.
Transferring so many aspects of caring for health to caring for wealth. And eventually I realized that caring for people's money and their financial health is actually a strong part of caring for their health, because money stresses our health a lot in so many ways.
Right. So that's what I titled today's Sunday Chronicles. I called it a financial health. Financial health is wealth.
Yes.
Because that absolutely is what it's about, right? So how was that transition for you? Just in terms of, studied all those years to be that medical doctor and then to come here and to make this switch. Like, can you take us through that process? Like, what drove it and how do you make peace with it, if at all?
Yes, so for me, the transition for me, I would describe it as natural. And what I mean by it being natural is because the aspect of medicine that I practice is community medicine, public health. And when you look at the way public health is mostly preventive medicine that digs into social life, what's happening in the community, and how your community interaction with your work. So there's occupational health in there. There's also the aspect of how finances affect health too, like I said earlier on, because of the social indices of health. So from having done that for several years, I was eager to discover other things that I could do and know and understand. So first of all, it was the curiosity to know what more I could learn. Then it coincided with the fact that someone introduced me to a financial brokerage, telling me when I nearly arrived within like 6 months, showing me that there were ways and things I needed to understand as a new immigrant in the area of finances. And I'm like, okay, finances, definitely. Anything finances, I was always curious to know more about. So I didn't hesitate. I went to those meetings, and as I began to hear the message, learn about, planning, understanding what RRSP, RESP, TFSA means, understanding that there were other options apart from the banks as where you could invest your money, learning about life insurance, critical illness insurance, I then began to see that, okay, there's something about what I'm learning now that is hinging on some of the things that are known about, like I said, the social indices of health.
Right.
How the money, because back home we would spend out of pocket to pay for finances, to pay for healthcare. To pay for healthcare. So then one of the core things that we learned in medical training then was that you had to manage your patient's pocket. Because if someone came with a condition and you were trying to prescribe a particular drug, you had to be careful not to prescribe a drug that was too expensive for what the patient could afford.
Yeah.
So that aspect of, like I said, of finances and how it hinges on health was always strong in my own background in my training. And now finding out that, okay, I mean, as a doctor back home, I wouldn't say I struggled for being able to pay for my health because I was relatively able to afford things.
Yeah.
But now coming here as a new immigrant, I then realized, okay, management of money needed to take on a new skill. So I was able to tie in the fact that it's now time for me to manage my own pocket actively.
Right.
Because then I was not, in fact, for like the first 1 year or 2 years, we're hardly earning anything. We had to live on whatever reserves that we came with. So that required a lot of financial insight and awareness. And then learning early that, okay, no matter how little what we had is, from that brokerage that I spoke about, I was being coached on the need to start saving, the need to start building for the future, even though we didn't think we were earning that much income. So for me, it all tied well together. Eventually, I wanted to find a course that I could do that would still line up behind being in finances. And then I took a diploma in accounting. So it's a combination of, usually when you're on a journey, several things are working together at the background, right? So I was looking for something I could do from home, something that would be flexible, something that I could do from a laptop as much as possible. So I ended up going to Braden College to do a diploma in accounting. And then when I drew back deeper into my past, I found out that I had a very good experience with managing money. I had been treasurer in different associations, even right from when I was in junior high and high school.
Wow.
So my background with money management for my church organizations that I had participated in, even for some of like medical women association that I participated in as well, I saw that I had a history of when we would go for some of the programs and projects that we did, I was the one that would, take the records, pull down things.
And you're still doing that, aren't you? You're still doing that.
So I'm just saying that a lot of things in my past life, I would say, came together as someone that could get actively involved in managing money for others, for me. So
okay. So what do you find? Let's jump right into this new career right now. Yes. What do you find clients come to you the most for? Like, where do we have the most problems? That's one question. I think I want to also put that another question on the table, because you mentioned when you first came that there were people who coached you into knowing the different elements and instruments, financial instruments right here in Canada. And as an immigrant, that is so important. Yes. So that would be my next question, maybe not too connected, but that second one would be about, like, Yemi, what does a new immigrant need to know, to be able to make it? So choose whichever one you want to start with first. So what do clients come for, like, most of the time? And then secondly, the immigrant question about the financial instruments.
So these days, people would come to me wanting to understand how they can better track their finances in terms of the bookkeeping. Yes. They're making their expenses, because some people want to start a business, or they've even already started, or they're doing it in a more like, let me see if it will work, in a skeletal way. But already they've made some decisions, they've bought items, they've made expenses, they've put in some little bit of capital, they've tried to reach out, and they're making sales. So before you know it, 3 months has gone by, 6 months have gone by. And the question is, so what's going on in this business really? So some would come to me trying to make sense of how can they track their business expenses? How can they make sure that they're keeping a good eye on a proper overview on what's really going on with the business? How can they determine if this business is making money or not? They know that they've made expenses. They know that they've sold and made sales to clients, but they're not able to determine whether or not, do they have a profit? Do they have a loss? Or are they just breaking even? Or are they beginning to dip more into their own personal resources trying to feed the business? They are not sure, because somehow right from the beginning, they didn't realize how important it was to do the tracking. Another thing that people would reach out to me to ask a lot about is just to understand how insurance works. What exactly are the factors that go into the premium cost? Should they take term insurance? Should they take permanent insurance? And so on and so forth, for them to be able to decide whether or not can we afford it. Then cash flow planning is another one.
I know that's your specialty, right?
Yes. That was the recent one that I took on. So let me quickly talk to what immigrants should understand. The first thing immigrants need to realize is that there is a time there's a learning curve, and your desire to know and your willingness to be open-minded is actually crucial. So you have to be ready to say, okay, though I used to do like this where I was, but now that I'm in a new country, what do I need to understand? What more can I understand so that I can better manage my finances well? Because as you are earning money, many things are demanding your attention on your money. Bills everywhere. And of course, you still want to have a comfortable and enjoyable lifestyle. So it's more of, how can I plan my money well so that I am meeting my goals and my needs, right? So immigrants need to understand that there are things about the credit system to make sense of. There are things about saving and investment to understand. There are things about keeping even just good records, because when you want to file your taxes, you want to go dig up all the receipts of some things that you've paid for that you need to now remit to government, so that you can be able to maximize tax returns potentially. So understanding that taxes are something you need to prepare for, and begin to keep away your documents and keep your own records of the different details that you'll be filing taxes on. Did you pay like daycare fees? Did you make medical expenses? So, and there are different components to it. So there's the day-to-day running of your life. Then there's the investing towards the future, like planning for children's education, planning for retirement, and so on and so forth. So as an immigrant, it's a gradual process, but at the same time, you need to have an objective way to always check in with what's going on. It doesn't hurt to actually have a financial advisor.
Yeah, from very early, right?
As early as you can. And I'm going to be honest with you that, like for me, when I joined this particular brokerage, they reach out to you that it's a means for you to earn income. And truly, there's opportunity to earn income there. But beyond earning income is the insights you gain into your own finances, because they coach a lot, at least the one I belong to. The coach is detailed. When you attend the training session after session, and then you hear other people's stories and examples that further help you to encourage yourself to know that, okay, this is something that I can be in just to learn. So for me, in fact, one of the reasons I stayed, because in the initial phase, I wasn't making money. But I was like, there's too much knowledge here for me to just decide, no, because I'm not making money, I'm going to stop. And so I didn't stop.
Okay.
I persisted, and I'm very happy that I stayed, because it has helped me to grow. And that was why I decided to go into cash flow planning more, because eventually planning the money itself, you'll be surprised at how difficult it could be. So, you're making it, you're spending it, but you don't know what's happening with it.
So you're saying, so you're able to take somebody who's like, it's too tight for me to even do certain things. You're able to, even within those constraints, to show someone how perhaps to apportion it right. And it's timing and quantities and that kind of thing.
Exactly. Because the thing with money is, no matter how little it is, the first thing is to manage it well. So what is it? What self-assessment are you doing to be sure and convince yourself that you're managing your money well? So that's where cash flow management comes in. Let's look at, this is how much it is that is coming in. What are you spending it on? Do you do a review to say, okay, we're in August, in July, what did I actually spend my money on? In June, what did I actually spend my money on? Am I happy with how my money was distributed through June and July, or do I want to improve on it
in August and
and going forward? So being able to do that self-assessment is very, very crucial. And many people don't seem to, either because they're scared of what they'll find, or they don't have the time, because it requires a level of being detail oriented and thorough. But then again, there are tools that are available to just, if you put your bank statements in a spreadsheet, like you download it as a CSV, you upload it to Google Sheets, it's now in Sheets, and you just sort. If you sort based on the description, immediately all the descriptions that are the same thing will come together. And then you just do a summation of the sections.
Oh, wow.
So that's something that you can do even in 10 minutes, to say, okay, June bank statement, download it as an Excel sheet or a CSV. You sort it based on the description. So the description will tell you the things that are similar, and then they are aggregated together. Then you do a summation of those similar things, and you just see your totals. So,
oh my goodness, that sounds like something you should do a class on that, Yemi. Like you need a class on that to kind of just teach those basics about it. But that's coming, isn't it?
Oh, well, definitely. I'm definitely eager to do a class.
I know,
if I find people that will come for the class, why not? Because some of these things, I realize we have different strengths with it. But they're pretty basic once and then your willingness to want to know. So I want to say one thing quickly, that money requires objectivity. It requires you saying, okay, I'm not sure what I'll find. Maybe I spent too much. But if you don't go look and tell yourself the truth, then it's like you're playing the ostrich.
Like
bury your head in the sand. You don't want to know the truth. So you just want to continue to whine about the fact that the money is not enough. I don't have enough for this. I'm not saving as much I want. Whatever.
Okay, so here's what I want to say. Because there was somebody else I interviewed who's also into like healthy financial practices. And I now realize, when you are an expert in a field, you don't actually see that what is common sense for you is actually somebody else's goal. That's like me teaching speaking and being like, okay, don't focus on yourself, like focus on the message. And that is like a big revelation for most people. So you're saying those things here, and I'm like, okay, that sounds, oh my goodness, that is so good. Put that in like a course or something. But we have to stop and consider that, because we are with that expertise, it makes sense for us. But for the person on the outside, that's why you're the expert, because like that knowledge is not, common sense is not always common. You know how they say that? It's not always common. That's why we need education.
You do have a point there, and not to make anyone feel bad. The honest truth is, It's because I've been immersed in it for at least 5 years plus now. So it's becoming more like my default mode thinking process. Exactly. I mean, sometimes even when I challenge my spouse, my husband, about some spending, or he looks at me. I remember when I told him we're not going to use credit cards anymore.
Oh, geez.
He was like, why? I'm like, we need to be clear on how much we're actually spending, because credit cards are pretty dangerous in the sense that you don't get a clear picture of how much money that is yours that you're actually spending when you're using a credit card, because a credit card is borrowing, right? And it just gives you, like, can tell you maybe your limit is 5,000. In your mind, you're looking at it, okay, I've only spent 500, my limit is 5,000. But that 500 you spent is not your money, and you have to pay it back. Now the question is, do you actually have enough in your checking, which is your money, to pay off that 500 and still cover all the other things that might be going out through your checking account as well?
Right.
So that was one of the things I learned when I took my cash flow planning, that credit cards are good, but they need to be used with a lot of discipline and tight control. And when you're no longer certain if that tight control is in place, especially when you now have balance owing on your credit card and you're carrying it from 1 month to the next, meaning you're not able to completely pay off everything on the credit card, it's time to stop using it. Stop using it. And blessedly, there are so many options out there. Like, there are prepaid credit cards. And what a prepaid credit card is like a mix between a checking account and the credit card itself. Yes. So when you spend on a prepaid credit card, you actually get cash back for points. You will get cash back. But at the same time, what happens with the prepaid card is you're putting in your own money. So I transfer 500 into it. As I spend, if I spend $50, it drops to $450. If I spend $80, it drops to $370, and so on and so forth. So the money is decreasing in a prepaid card. And then that's a surer way to be sure that you're spending your own money. You're actually spending what you have. And as money, there's a psychology behind when money is coming down in your account. You can see that, oh, I had 500, now it's down to 200. So in your mind, you are readjusting that, okay, this 200, how do I use it well and spread it out? As opposed to if you were using a credit card and now you're just saying, oh, I mean, it's just a $20 expense, I put it on there. Oh, it's just a $50 expense, I put it on there. And before you know, by the end of 1 week, your credit card has grown maybe by $300 increase. But like I said, do you actually have that $300 spare in your checking account to pay it off? You are not sure. But with a prepaid card, you have more control. You are surer that, okay, I'm spending my own money. And you're able to decide, maybe I shouldn't spend that $50. Maybe I should keep it for something else that might be more cogent. Just something as basic as using a prepaid card that makes you drop your money gradually than a credit card that is increasing, but you are not very sure whether or not you can pay it off.
Okay. You sound so excited about this. Of course, very knowledgeable. Like, we could just go on talking about finances and financial health equals wealth forever. I wanted to go to your book now because for those of you who don't know, Yemi's also an author, and the book is here. And like, while you were speaking, I've read the book. I've bought your book, purchased. I was at the launch. That was real done. And I bought the book, and it's common sense for those who don't know what's common, right? For don't have the common sense for it. It's really, really good. So here's the book. Can we just have a look at it? And this is it right here. So tell us about it. The reason I was thinking about it while you were speaking is because one of the points you spoke about in the book is about documenting and just taking quick records on the fly, so that even in a business, you make a purchase, just actually, if you don't have an e-receipt, which you taught me to tag things, and so I know where to find everything. If it is a physical receipt, just take the photo and file it away for later, for when you need to get the taxes done, right? So let's talk about those steps in the book. And
thank you, Lisa. 5 bookkeeping habits that drive business success. That's the title of my book. Financial fitness for entrepreneurs. And I'll say, even before you decide whether or not you want to have a business, and if everyone will benefit from reading the book, the simple reason is because it's about habits, and money is really basically about the habits.
Yeah.
And habits work for you when you stack them. When you start it and then you do it today, you do it tomorrow, and you keep on doing it. Then over a period of 3 months, 6 months, you begin to see the positive effect of having stacked those habits.
Right.
So 5 habits that are very crucial for anyone that wants to have a business is to first of all realize that even if it's a sole proprietorship, even if you don't want to incorporate it, it still helps you very well from the beginning to separate your business from your personal.
Right.
Separate business from personal is the number 1 habit. The second habit is about dates. Financial record keeping is so date dependent. When you want to file to government wants you to file from January to December, or if you were incorporated and you started your incorporation in maybe February, then you are doing February to January. So the thing is, dates are important in financial transactions. In your bank statement, there's a balance that shows at the end of every period. And in your bookkeeping records, we reconcile the two, saying, okay, your statements show that you had 30,000 at the end of June. Is that what you have on your books? But the reason why there may be a difference is because your date record keeping may be off. So dates are important. So be conscious of the dates such that for every documentation you are making that is about your business or about life, I would say put a date on it. And I mean, the date is so easy. It's today's date. I'm saving the document today and I save it. Okay. Let's say it's a receipt from Dollarama receipt August 17, 2025.
Right. So you put the date in the title.
Yeah, put a date in your file name. When you put the date in the file name, it's so much easier for you to find things, because eventually when you want to submit reports, you're going to be submitting reports based on dating. Oh, how did my business do in June? You're going to look for all your June expenses. So be date conscious. Date conscious is the second habit. The third habit is like the anchor habit of them all, to save information proactively. So even separating business from personal is a proactive thing, that right from the beginning, you want to keep the business transactions clear, so that when you want to know profit and loss, even your bank statement should tell you objectively if all your business transactions were in the bank statement, because all the revenue will show, all the expenses will show. Right. At one glance, and then you can almost be sure of your cash flow at that instance, because you have kept your business and personal separate, and all the business transactions are going through one separate account. Yes. That is the business account. Right. But if for any reason everything is not going through that business account, it means you have to do the work of bringing in, maybe you are collecting through PayPal and you have not yet reconciled it, and so on. So by and large, what I'm saying is save information proactively, which is what Lisa was referring to. So one proactive thing is, your device in your hand is such a powerful tool for being proactive. You've made the expense right there on the spot. If you go to buy things for the business and personal at the same time, I want to recommend that make up your mind to use the business card for just the business expenses only. Yeah. And then separate the personal things, because it's possible to do so right there at the store. Yeah. The things that are for business, separate them. Let that one be paid separately. Pay with the business card. Once the receipt comes out, just take a picture of it and upload it to a Google Drive. Name it properly, and within that, all I'm talking about is 1 or 2 minutes.
So what do you say to people who are like, I've met people like that, they're very good business minds, but they're not good techie minds. So even stuff like Google Drive, and they're like, what is all of that? What's your answer to those people?
I would say you can learn. I believe you can learn. Yeah. Because like I said, the thing that you need is already in your hand, your phone. We all use our phones. We check our emails at the very least. We take pictures with it. So I'm saying take a picture of the receipts and name it with a file name. Now, learning how to use Google Drive, it just requires making up your mind that you want to learn it. Yeah. I think almost and it's not only Google Drive, there are different drives. But what I'm trying to say is upload it to the cloud, have a saving folder in a cloud storage system, because cloud storage saves you a lot of headache when you need to pull the information out.
And it's free for the most part. Like you don't need to pay for extra storage or anything of this sort. So I think, like you're saying, the little time that it would take you to learn those little technological things, like how to set up your Google Drive and that kind of thing, it outweighs the hassle.
Save you a lot of headache in future.
Yes, absolutely.
I have this picture that I show to people. I don't. If you want to Google like a refuge, have you ever seen dirt, garbage, and recycling mixed together anywhere? What I'm trying to say is that it's easier to sort from source. That's why we all, most of us are used to the fact that we have a recycling bin where we put the recycling items separate from the garbage that are for throwing away. When you sort from source, you save yourself a lot of headache. That's how saving your receipt at the moment when you are receiving it, that's what it does for you. Because when you throw your receipts together, even just 3 months worth, you'll be surprised how confusing it becomes. Some of them fade and you can no longer access the information when they are faded. Just save it proactively by, as you're generating the receipt, save it and upload. That's the paper ones. The electronic ones is the same thing. When you get an email of a receipt, I'll say create a folder and push that email to that folder right away. A folder for receipts. Because even looking through your email for information can take you 10-15 minutes and you might still not find it. But if you remember that, oh, I need this thing for reporting my expenses, push it to a folder that is for that purpose only. That folder, you will find that folder easily all the time.
Right. Okay, so let's just remind our guests. I forgot to put on like who we're talking to and all of that. But we're talking to Dr. Yemi Umuago, and she is a medical doctor turned financial doctor. And we're talking about just having some very great and wise financial practices that will lead to your financial health. She's also an author, so she has been discussing her book as well. If you do have any questions for Yemi, please put them in the chat and we'll pull them up. I had to also say welcome to our guests on LinkedIn, on YouTube. I don't think I'm on Facebook as yet. Like you have to be like 90 days before you can go live on so like I just reactivated my account, so I think I have some time to go all the way in September. So but we are here. A special welcome to all our friends in the Think community, and as well as in When African Women Talk. We can say a shout out to them as well. Thank you for joining us here today. So if you have any questions or you want to say hi, by all means, put your questions in the chat and we'll pull them up. Okay, so Yemi, before we go on, I have to talk about your lipstick. I'm sorry. No, I'm sorry. I'm sorry. Like, we're going to mix it up. Okay, I have somebody on set. We're going to mix it up. So what are you wearing? I've always told you that because I think that you had a similar shade on Annette's podcast. And I was like, okay, that's the first thing I saw.
Lisa wants to pull me out today. I'm going to be honest. Making up is not my thing, but I'm learning.
Yes.
So she's like, I just know it's red. That's all I know about it.
Oh my goodness, it's nice. Isn't it nice, you guys? It's lovely.
I don't know what other descriptions I would have needed to give about a lipstick. I don't know the make. I don't know the maker. I don't know the name. I can tell you where I got it if I'm allowed to talk about that.
Yes, of course, by all means.
I went to Kasoa, and that's where I got it from.
Where's Kasoa?
The beauty shop beside Kasoa. So there's an African store on
91
Street,
51
Avenue.
Right.
So Kasoa, that place is popularly known as Kasoa by we the Africans because we all go there a lot to buy. Like
there's Caribbean food there too.
I believe there's Caribbean food.
Yeah, because I get tamarind balls there, so I know it.
Yes. So, but there's a beauty shop on that same row, which is also like for people of black color.
Oh, nice. Okay.
So it's the beauty salon, but I'll just say that, and like I said, it's red.
Oh my goodness! Yeah, we must find her. Get her to sponsor the show. That red lipstick for sure. But it's really nice. Do you like it?
Oh, I do.
Yeah, she loves dressing up. She loves making up all of the things. Like she'll be great on stage. And also, Yemi is in my Find Your Fire program, so I'm so happy. Like she's getting out there as that business person who has so much to say, as you can well see. You know,
I appreciate the opportunity to be able to share what I know, because I do like to share it, but I'm learning how to share it right so that it meets the audience at where they need it most.
Yeah.
With Speak with Confidence by Lisa.
Thank you. We're coming to Edmonton October to November. So it will be my first in-person Speak with Confidence in Canada. I can hardly wait. So the same results we've gotten virtually, we're going to repeat. And, Yemi, can't you see the difference just like being in person as opposed to being virtual?
I like in person.
Look at this. I just found myself like just being so relaxed, like touching the back of my head. I'm like, Lisa, you're on live streaming. What are you doing? But it's just simply that when you are in person, when you do things face to face, it creates a synergy that I think we have to fight to create sometimes virtually. So that's why I'm so looking forward to having Speak with Confidence in person here in Edmonton. This will be the first iteration right here in the city. So if you are interested, hit me up after. We only have 10 spots. No, 9 now. Somebody's already be like, yeah, I'm in, right? So only 10 spots. It's a 6-week program and we meet once a week. And with the attending, there'll be lots of practice, evaluation, the same rigor and discipline of the virtual program that I'm bringing right away to like the in-person program. So it's going to be great. If you're interested, watch out for the ads, watch out for, when I put the announcements out, because we begin very promptly October 7th until November 11th. I think these are the dates, right? In person, in the city, right here in Edmonton. So thank you for like just having that. Okay, so let's go continue with the habits. Okay.
Exactly. So I've mentioned 3 habits already.
Sorry, that was the lipstick break.
Yeah, awesome. I mean, it's all part of the conversation, right? We're human and we should feel ourselves in our humanity.
Yeah.
It's not that easy to just keep talking, firing.
Yeah.
Yes. So the 4th habit that I speak about in my book is that you should journal about your daily business activities. So try to do a daily recap for yourself about what was striking about the business for the day. What did you learn? Maybe transactions or sales that you made and what was peculiar about it, or clients that you engaged with and things that you understood better about your clients, and so on and so forth, or things that you understood better about your product management. Just taking time, maybe 5 to 10 minutes every day, to really do an inside review and recap to yourself about your business activities and what you want to learn from, what you want to improve, and so on and so on. Because you find out that if you don't take those daily records, a week, 2 weeks goes by and you're struggling to remember what happened 3 weeks ago. You're struggling to remember some specific details that struck you then, but now you're not sure anymore. So journaling about your business activities every day makes a difference. And if it can't be every day, then try to make it, even if it's every week, or when you know some significant things have happened that you know that it's wise for you to take note of and put down. So it's different from just the monetary transactions. Now it's more of the operational aspects and the logistic aspects of trying to run your business, so that important details that you could be useful for informing future decisions about either managing the same client or managing different clients but with the same scenario, you're able to recourse back to your journal to.
But what I found when I did that, I did it again on your advice from the book, and what it helped me with was to track the money mindset more than anything else. So in terms of day to day, okay, so this is what you made this week or whatever. What were you thinking? Like, because money is generated from what you think.
Yeah,
money is an energy. I think we know that. And what I found is, the weeks when I'm focused and really going after the targets, then you get a better return. So just tracking my thoughts and the journaling, it really helped me to see, okay, what was the mindset behind the results that you got? And, that has helped me.
Thanks. I appreciate that feedback, Lisa, because really, and that's what I said in my book, that basically, as you are the one running the business, you will know what you want to write down objectively. The only thing is to take that time out to do it when it's fresh, when you've just experienced it, such that you can capture as much as possible, because it will inform your future actions that will improve your business for you. And then the 5th habit is that you should do a regular financial review. And I'll say that a regular financial review of your business is actually premised on if you have done the first 4 habits. Because the regular financial review basically involves you actually deciding, okay, what's my profit and loss? What's the situation with my assets and my liabilities? What's my cash flow like? Those are the things you are reviewing, and it helps you to review it at least every month. So the only way you can do that successfully is if you have wisely separated your business from personal, and you have captured your transactions proactively.
Right.
Using a software would also help greatly.
Yeah, that's what, like, QuickBooks helped me, because I was like, how am I even going to do this? Like, Excel, give me Word, give me all of the Word, like the Word, applications, but like I never really delved into Excel. So I just knew the basic things from doing YouTube videos and so on. So QuickBooks like kind of just took away the angst of recording and so on.
Yes, use a software.
Any
Definitely,
software?
I recommend using accounting software. No, there are lots of them out there. QuickBooks is about the most popular.
Yeah.
But I think even Wave, Zoho, because there are some relatively free ones, depending on your volume and depending on how much you are making. If you're just starting out, they also help. There's ODOO, Odoo, or so on.
Okay.
So there are lots of them out there, but the more crucial thing is that before you use a software, you need to understand the basics behind it. You need to understand the accounting principles, or have recourse to a bookkeeper or an accountant to guide you on setting up, I call it the skeletal system, or the framework. The cupboard arrangement.
Yes.
Like the way you have your cupboard or your wardrobe,
right,
where you put your shirts, you have where you put different things.
Yes.
That's the same way it is in the software. But how you post them to those different shelves has principles behind them.
Right.
So if you do not set up your if you don't set up your cupboard arrangement well, or your chart of accounts, that's the proper word, your chart of accounts well, then you're going to cause a lot of confusion
and more problems for your financial person, right? Okay, so I think Naomi is actually a financial strategist as well. So I'm sure she's very familiar with what you're talking about. And she says, yes, Zoho is free. I think it's for persons who don't want to use like paid software, right? So she says it's a free, amazing accounting software for small business owners.
Yes,
right?
I agree. I use Zoho too. So
okay, all right. Any limitation? Because sometimes I find the free ones have severe limitations. What do you think about that? No.
Yes, there are. What I remember might be the limitation of Zoho. It's not coming to mind directly now.
Okay.
The only thing is there are ways to get around it. I'm going to be honest with you.
Right.
I think that with Zoho you cannot connect your bank on the free one. I'm not sure.
Okay.
But I mean, check it out. The other important thing Zoho would say is that it's free if you don't make more than 50,000 a year.
Oh, okay.
And so for those that are just starting out, that could be the case for a year or two. But then even the monthly price, I think, is about $15 Canadian dollars per month.
Okay.
For the next level after free.
Right.
So eventually, you see, there are a lot of expenses that go into running a business. But one expense that is wise to make is being proactive about your bookkeeping. Getting it right properly from the beginning will save you a lot of headache. It saves you being late for filing taxes. It helps you to keep on top of what's actually going on in the business. A business should not be such that it's only when you're filing taxes that you are even knowing how much you made over 12 months. You should know how much you made within a month, within 2 months, 3 months, first quarter, second quarter. You should be on track to really be sure what's going on with your business. And it's only an accounting software that can help you actually do that.
Okay.
And so in my book, I also delved into the pain that you will prevent if you implement these habits, and the gain that you will secure, more like the advantages and the disadvantages of practicing these habits consistently. And practical steps are also in the book, telling you how to do what you need to do. So the practical steps, I delved into practical steps a lot because they're possible to do. I wouldn't use the word easy to do, but they are really feasible once you make up your mind.
And I think it's, again, mindset, as in I'll get this right, so I'll do what I need to do. So Naomi was just saying that some of the limitations, going back to the Zoho, is that she said limitations are more for payroll for Zoho, and which is not a big deal, especially if you're like a sole proprietor, and you have contractors or so on. Another one that I used for a while was FreshBooks. I used FreshBooks before I moved to and FreshBooks is Canadian, I believe. Like it's built for the Canadian system, or it's something of the sort. But I didn't quite like it. I didn't quite like it.
I'm aware of FreshBooks, but I didn't delve into it much myself. I was curious at the time.
You have to get a code for it to work the way that it's supposed to work. Like it has, some there are workarounds that I wasn't willing to sign up for. That's what I found. So Yemi, let's go into what you find what are some of the most the major financial mistakes that you see clients doing. People come to you to fix things.
Okay. I think one of the things that I noticed is there's several things. Some people take on franchises without really being fully aware of the either they didn't do their research in detail. So I'm going to say be very careful about taking a franchise because the franchise costs, the fees can be very draining on the business indeed. And from what I understand, they take their cut from the gross that you make on the business, even before you subtract all the other expenses of running that business. So it's in a way, it's like a big liability indeed, having a franchise. So you have to do your homework very thoroughly and be very clear on why you want to take on that franchise. I'll say whatever type of business it is, it would be wise to get started actually doing that thing yourself without the franchise and run it consistently for some time, get comfortable, know the ins and outs of that business in itself first before going to have a franchise that you now want to pay for. Because franchise means that it's a popular name and you believe people will patronize you because of the name that is popular. But there's so many hidden costs with running a franchise and the fees you pay to the franchise, so that the business, the amount you charge may not adequately cover everything. So because I've seen two different people that have done their books and basically in their first 1, 2, 3 years, they didn't make any money and they were even in the negative. Was still the next thing again is taking on loans. Taking on loans to start businesses requires a lot of calculation and really knowing the numbers well, not just what the people that are offering you the loan may tell you. You need to get a second opinion, even a third opinion, a neutral person that has no interest in the outcome of whether you get the loan or not, to help you objectively look at the numbers that you are being offered. A 5% interest might seem very small, but if you take a loan of 50,000, you'll be surprised how much that monthly interest rate that you need to start paying upfront will be, even before you start making any money. So,
and isn't it normal? Like, I mean, I've run several businesses before, and it's quite normal that the first 1 to 3 years you don't make a profit. So if like they're taking from the gross from the time you begin, then you're starting off at you're starting off at a worse deficit when you do start making money if in the franchise. That's what I'm saying, because like who makes money in the first 1 to 3 years, like just normally, unless you have a phenomenal business plan that's rolling over very quickly. I'm not sure what you think of that.
That's exactly what I'm trying to say, right? That the factors that are not within your control can come in quickly to really, pull things down, because you have the expenses of just running the day-to-day of the business, maybe the equipment, maybe the going out to the business itself, depending on what business. Like I will take, for example, a particular cleaning business, the cost of the reagent, the cost of the equipment, the cost of transportation. But then this person now took a franchise, and from franchise fees was as much as like between $500 to $700 every month.
Okay.
Minus all the other running expenses of just getting the business going. And there's some of these things that there's only so much that you can afford to actually charge your clients, because there are other competitors who charge a friendlier rate.
Yes,
so
right.
Eventually, you find out that you're starting off in a deficit, just like Lisa said, and paying fees because you are using their name and they want their fees, whatever the case may be.
I can see people going into franchises because of like emotional appeal and emotional connection. Oh my gosh, like I want to, see the name, see the cap, see the font and all the things. Like, there's a rush to entrepreneurship that belies like all of the grunt work and the serious number crunching that also has to go into it, right?
Yes.
Right. Now, Yemi, we could stay here and talk about all of the financial things, but we're almost at time, and I really wanted to get into other parts of your life, so we have a little bit of time. We have like 9 minutes left on our live stream today. So can you, I know we did we get to the last two steps?
Yes.
Yeah, we
yes,
did all five of
book.
them. Okay, we did. Okay. So let's now hear, where can people get that book from you?
Yes, so I'll give Lisa the link in the description. First of all, it's available on Amazon.
On Amazon, okay.
Yeah, so it's on Amazon. You can search for it with the name Yemi Umuago.
Okay,
on
I'll
Amazon.
Put your name.
Yes.
All right. IBI, okay.
IBIYEMI UMUAGO.
Okay.
So if you search with that name on Amazon,
okay, and
you'll find the book. The book is Financial Fitness for Entrepreneurs.
Yes. And that is people like me. I think I got it right. I'm putting
it. And just to say, even non-for-profit would benefit a lot from reading this book, because I mean, entrepreneurs is just a broad capture. Eventually, if you're running a non-profit organization, you're running it as if it's a business that could be for profit. The only thing is you're not charging money, but you even need to be much more diligent with your management and your tracking of the finances, because you're going to be giving reports to the funders, maybe you got grants, maybe and so on. So for non-for-profit organizations, they have even a lot more on them to make sure that their bookkeeping is really well tracked and well documented, because for you to continue to fund and receive funding from your grants suppliers, you have to give a report.
You absolutely have to do it. And a lot of people have lost the non-profit status because of not being able to
poor financial
tracking. Absolutely. Okay, so we can get it on Amazon,
and you can also get it from me.
You.
Yes, there's a link to order from me directly.
Okay. Yeah, what's the link? Yeah, you can put it. You want to type it in right here? While do you have it, or we can put it? I can put it on YouTube after. We can put it after, right? Okay. So it's a handy little book, a lovely read, and I've thoroughly enjoyed looking. Just going through it, reading it again and again, because it does help, right? So Yemi, let's talk about where are we right now. Okay, so I had this last question from Miss Yemi. Okay, I'm going full Caribbean on you, sis. Miss Yemi. I had a question that I asked everybody, a philosophical question, but this lady right here is black and white, okay, crunching the numbers, but I'm still going to ask the question, okay? The question is, so what would you like to change in the world? And before you answer the question, why didn't you like my question?
Change in the world. I mean, there's a lot of pain in the world, I agree. So, and I find that I don't have that much power to do anything about a good number of them. So if I'm going to talk about changing, it's more like maybe just what I hope for and wish would happen.
So practical, right?
Yeah. So honestly, I think the first thing I'd like people to have is an open mindset. Maybe if everyone could just have an open mindset. And what I mean by that is just a mind that is willing to learn and grow. Now, most people might think that they have that, but until you begin to tackle yourself on various issues, and then you might just find that. And an open mindset does not mean that you accept what you don't believe in, but it just means you're willing to hear, listen, and understand, and at times change your mind depending on what the issue being discussed is.
Yeah, and I'm so happy you said open mind, because two things. The first thing is, when you first came and we started, you said something I don't often hear people say, if I may, and I was Catholic, so I have every right to say this. Thank you very much. You know how people say I'm Catholic, but you said I'm a Christian first. And I mean, when you really think about it, Christian is Catholic, right? But you don't often hear the two said together, and here you are just acknowledging the both of them. So I was like, okay, like this is way different, but you don't often hear it. You hear people either saying Christian as in everybody else but Catholic. I used to say that too. Right? But then here you are saying, okay, Christian and Catholic. So that was one open-mindedness that I saw,
Yes, because, well, some may argue with us, but the honest truth is, the first church is the Catholic Church. It is the church.
I am not getting into that argument. You can say what you want.
The church that traces its history all the way back to Peter and Paul, the apostles, is the Catholic Church.
This is, you can see. I'm not going to argue that. Yes. You know why? Because I'm pretty sure when we start before God, it's not going to be like, which church started first? He'll be like, let's see the state of your heart right now.
God is interested in which church started first or not.
That's
either,
what it
right?
is. Like,
so
that's what
eventually it's more of living your life for His glory.
Exactly.
And so living my life for His glory involves that I stay close to Him consistently, reading His word. Maybe that's the other thing I love to change about the world.
Yeah.
Get everybody to know Jesus and know God.
Yeah, that would be.
Because there's a lot of peace that comes with that many people don't realize or understand. They think it's about being told what not to do and being restricted in what they want to do. But joy and peace
and freedom
only God can give if you seek Him for it.
Yeah. I think
if you know, you know. If you don't know, I pray you get to know.
Yeah. Wow. Well said. Well said. Thank you so much for that. Like the other day, I have to tell you this. You see why it's good to have the interaction. I'm not sure that we could have like generated this kind of camaraderie virtually. You know what I mean?
Nah.
Yeah, I think so. Yeah. I must do some more like in-person ones. Let's see how that goes.
I think it'll go great.
I think so. Just have to set up the studio for that kind of thing. But here's the thing, just in terms of open-mindedness and like who we think we are in the world, there's always this in the background of Christianity, especially for Black people, talking about, like, is God black? Is he white? Oh my gosh, like, look at all the footage, look at all the videos. Why does he doesn't look like me? Is like all of this. And I have to admit, like, early in my my university years, I went really deeply into like being very conscious of, my Black self and who I am as a person and what it means in the world. So I still have those kinds of, thoughts and questions for God. And just very recently, talk about open-mindedness and freedom in God. So I saw some image and I was like, okay, God, like, what are you? Are you Black? Are you white? And he's like, no, my hands are not black or white, they're mine. He literally said to me, he said, my hands are not black or white, they're mine. As in, don't even go there. It's not even a matter of where you want to place it. Do what you want with it. Like, represent me the way you want to. But understand I'm bigger than that argument. I'm out of this argument. I was like, what? I totally got it, although my question wasn't answered. But I totally got it. My hands are not black or white, they're mine. As in, I am that I am kind of response. Yeah. That's what happened. So Yemi, why didn't you like that question?
As in about changing the world?
About changing the world.
I don't have an answer. I think that's my challenge. What would I like to change in the world?
Well, you did say that if people would have an open mind.
Yes, but then that's not in my control, right? So that's where I get confused, because for me, what I want to change should be something I can do something about.
Well,
right?
Not really.
Okay.
So then if we open up that possibility of it doesn't have to be something that you can change, but that you would like to see changed.
Okay.
Does that change things? Would it still be an open mind? Yes. It's still, exactly.
Well, objective. I mean, an open mind is a very strong thing for everyone to have.
Yeah.
A mind that allows you to learn and grow.
Yeah.
And keep growing and never stop growing, because there's a tendency for people to think that they can grow up to a point and then just stop, or not need to grow some more.
Yeah.
Again, look at how the world is changing so rapidly. So, and that's why sometimes we talk of generational gaps, where people of maybe our own age range, we're in between 40s now.
Yeah.
We find it hard to relate with those that are teenagers.
Oh, yeah, even 30-somethings, yeah.
It has to do with just that difference in where we're all coming from in our own individual past, and not being able to calm down, or maybe not, I don't want to use the word down, because down is not the word, but you're older. You've been in the world longer. There are things you've seen that the younger ones haven't seen.
Yeah, right.
But they are their own stage. And if you are open-minded enough, you can come down to their level. You can relate with them. You can be in their world and have conversations with them about what they're doing. Oh, and learn from them, definitely.
Absolutely.
Because the world keeps changing. And if you are not learning enough to change along with some of the important changes that are going on, you find out that you begin to restrict yourself where there are spaces you can't go into just because you could be confused what's going on there. You can have some conversations. AI is big on the map right now.
Yeah, it is.
I listen to a lot of videos about artificial intelligence and what it's doing and what they want it to do and so on. And I'm like, even I that think I'm curious enough to know, I know I'm not keeping up fast enough.
Exactly. And I mean, who is, right? Because it keeps on changing as fast as it is becoming and getting into existence. So I put your name and the name of the book. You can get this book on Amazon, you guys, if you're interested in getting this book from Yemi. It's pretty, really nice. So thank you so much for being here on the show today, my first in-person guest. So give it up for Yemi. I wish I had the applause. I was get some sound bites and sound effects and all of the things, but this has really been a great conversation. Oh, the last thing I wanted to talk about. No, I have to practice being on time. So practice being on time, okay? Let's get this thing about
on time.
Yeah, on time. So thank you so much for being here, Yemi, and all the best. I'm looking forward to seeing you on stages. Just sharing the knowledge, workshops, what else you foresee in the future? Come on, what do you see?
Coaching courses. I would love to teach people about how to use softwares.
Wow, yeah.
It's pretty simple.
Yeah.
Once you get it right. Sometimes learning is about getting something right in your mind, linking the crucial things, and then once it clicks and you're
on your way, right? Yeah, that's awesome. Well, we have to arrange that for sure, especially in our community. So everybody, thank you so much for joining us here today. I hope you enjoyed this interview as much as I did, and you will witness the history being made in our own little modest way. Having the first guest on the Sunday interview for Basement Chronicles. So reach out, let me know what you think. And if you have any questions for my guest, you can reach out to her as well. She is on Amazon, and where else did we put? We're gonna put it.
And yes, okay, you can find it on Smart Wealth Advocate as well. That's my website.
Yeah, that's what I was thinking. Yes. Yeah, let me just put the website, and then we're gonna get out of it. The Smart Wealth Advocate.com.
Yes,
okay.
Please. Yeah,
all right, correct. We got it. Okay, awesome. So let's put that here.
You'll find it on the website.
Right. Okay. And it's on the website as well. So Smart Wealth Advocate.
Yes, under resources tab. That's where you'll
find it. So you can buy the book there as well. Okay.
Thank you for having me, Lisa. I enjoyed myself.
Pleasure. All right, you guys. I'll see you next week for another interview. Thanks for joining us here